Well, we've come to the end of the line, old friend. Because of the fragility of the Family Trainer pad, that's the special controller that you step on, I wound up building my own with a push-button interface. Nothing fancy, just something to get me by as I was recording. Well, I finished all of the Family Trainer games a while ago, but there was always one odd title out. Super Mogura Tataki Pokkun Mogura. And it didn't use the Family Trainer per se, but it used another controller with the exact same wiring scheme as the Family Trainer. So I held on to my rough home-built version for a little while longer. But this is it, the last game that I can use it with. After this, it goes into my parts bin. Maybe someday I'll be crazy enough to build a proper interface for it. So what is the final outing for this piece of hardware? Well, Mogura Tataki is the Japanese title of the electromechanical game best known worldwide as Whac-a-Mole. That's the machine where the moles pop their heads out and you have to hit them with a mallet. To replicate that on the Famicom, IGS included a peripheral that they called the Tap-Tap Mat, which was a much smaller Family Trainer, and it came with a little plastic mallet that you could strike the pads with. This is the first Famicom game from super small publisher IGS. They only published 7 games, but they seem to have an affinity for weird hardware. As you might guess, this is a very straightforward game. On every level, enemies pop up, and you hit the appropriate spot on the pad. If you hit 80% of them, then you pass and go on to a bonus mode where you just keep hitting until you miss one. Fail, and you can just try the stage again. Super Mogura Tataki has 6 different stages, each with a different kind of enemy that you have to strike. There are 3 different pad configurations that are used, a ring of 8 spots, the bottom 2 rows, or a big U consisting of the bottom row and the far right and far left. There are 2 difficulty levels, but they're not really that different. The primary change is the rate at which targets pop out, so you'll get a lot more of them on hard mode, which actually winds up making it about the same difficulty, since with more chances to hit things, missing one of them means less. And keep in mind, a miss doesn't mean when you hit the wrong spot. It means that the target got away. Some of them poke their heads out for just an instant and go back in. Some of them jump back in when you hit somebody else first. So it's actually a little bit more difficult than you might think. After you successfully complete a stage, you get a password, though the game is so short, I'm not really sure that you need it. Complete all 6 rounds on easy, and you automatically get bumped to hard. Complete those 6 stages, and you've beaten the game. This is about as basic as a video game can get, but I still kind of like it. It's got one very simple thing that it's doing, but it does it pretty well. But you really do have to play it with a special controller. I have to imagine that this does not have the same feeling in an emulator. Super Mogura Tataki is a unique, kind of neat experience, but probably not one that you'd want to go out of your way for.